we should be fine. I am going to make sure that we have our counting down video. Let's do the counting down video for now. Okay, go. Oh, I think we have some laggings over here. Let me mute this one so I won't hear the lag. Yeah, I believe we can officially start it, and I'm going to double check, make sure our connections is working well. Hello, Juan, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's BabyManta SuperFrens Clubhouse. I'm Moonveil. I'm so glad to invite MJ, the Moonveil CEO, to join us today. And as everyone know that MJ has been, very decading in the Web3 gaming space, right? Building for 2 cycles. And we're so happy to have you joining us today. MJ, first thing first, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience? Thank you.
Hello, Moonlight. Thank you so much for inviting me here, and very excited to share more story with all the audience here. So my name is MJ. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of Moonveil. We've been building Moonveil since 2022. Originally started as a Web3 gaming studio, gradually upgraded to more of a complex Web3 gaming ecosystem with multiple games ready to launch, together with our own layer 2, which is in testnet right now, with a very robust, friendly, and healthy community. So very glad to see Moonveil growing.
Amazing. Thank you so much, MJ. And of course, the first thing that we would like to know is what made you wanted to join the crypto space, and also especially focus on Web3 games. Thank you.
First thing first, I'm a huge gamer, so building games is something deeply in my vein. I think it took many years until I realized that building game is more like a lifetime journey that I want to focus on. And I think even today, I still believe that I might be one of a few people that really believe in Web3 would be able to level up gamer experience, game developer experience. I know it's a buzzword, lots of people were bullshitting about that. And let's even put Web3 aside. I do see a lot of value that the blockchain technology, the Web3 community, how it's being built up, etc., will be able to change a lot of the traditional way how game is built, how game developer works. It's still a long way to go. Right now, it's still in its baby early stage, but quite ambitious about the future.
Nice. Yeah, we like to learn about that. So, would you like to share some challenges along the way? We know it's certainly not easy, right? So, if you wanted to talk about and give us some insights, that would be great. Thank you.
There are a lot of challenges. I think along the way that we we actually learned a lot of lessons from the lot of mistakes that we've been making. I think there are a couple of challenges that we are confronting, right? So inevitably that we saw gaming is definitely not the most hot spot in the market. A lot of people are seeing the gaming tokens being sunsetting. I think let's step back a little bit. The core challenges that we are facing is that I never thought Web3 gaming is easier than Web2 gaming, which some people believe that. I don't think so. I think for Web3 gaming, it definitely requires the game to be able to thrive in the traditional gaming market to make the game fun, entertaining enough. But also, it's been highly correlated with the market fluctuation. And when market is down, I think no matter how the token price will be impacted by the macro. So there's no way to see a gaming token being performing extremely well, standing out. It's totally different from other tokens, right? So I think the correlation with market sentiment, market fluctuation, will definitely add a lot of complexity for the builders, of course. That's number one. Number two is that I think the market fluctuation is also negatively impacting how game we call it live operation, right? So regarding how we update, how we iterate contents, I think that's also been very challenging. Like lots of the content production require the way longer lead time to build. Then when we're about to launch the content, let's say celebrating Halloween or Christmas, how we time that together with market, it's basically impossible, right? So it's also adding more complexity. And three is, I think right now, definitely we saw the Web3 users, GameFi users, gamers have been well educated. They grew a lot already, but still we have to think about how we filter or how we find the best audience that can literally be our ally to co-build together with us, right? So lots of the investors, partners told me, hey, don't do Web3 gaming because those people are not coming here to play games. The traditional Web2 gamers are coming here because the game is fun. The Web3 gamers coming here because they can earn money from there, right? So there's a huge misalignment between. Agree or disagree, I think that's there's a different angle to look at that. I see that as a way to embrace different type of people coming into the ecosystem based on who they are, what they are good at. They can always find the best value proposition of themselves coming into the ecosystem. They could be, but not necessarily be the one who spend like 10 hours playing the game every day. They can still contribute to the game, to the game product, to the gaming ecosystem if they feel bullish about the potential future, if they are aligned with how we want to build the ecosystem. But right now it's still early, right? So it requires a long time to build that thing to make that as a mass adopted. Hello, hello.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Yeah, totally understand. Totally understand why your friend might suggest you not to, jump into the Web3 gaming space, right? Because sometimes it's just so difficult, and also we could clearly see the challenge, right? Just like you say, people are here, they wanted to make money instead of spending money, right? They didn't want it to be a a consumer, right? So that's definitely a issue. And do you think you will still focusing on Web3 gaming sector in the next round, or will you probably change a different sector to build? Thank you.
I do. This is that's what I mentioned. I think at deep in my vein, I'm a
Mhm.
gamer, and I truly believe in Web3 gaming. So I'm gonna be definitely staying here. But to elaborate a little more about that, right, is that I think the cycle is inevitable, right? So regarding either for the economy, for the industry, it's always like this, right? So when the cycle is high, when everything is so bullish, you could see all those assets or the tokens being overvalued. Do you believe in a single game on average level could be valued as billions of valuation, which is basically comparable with a lot of traditional giant company in the whole world, which is impossible. While in the same time, I don't feel like a lot of the good game builders deserve the current like only even 7 figures, 8 figures valuation as FDV, which is also unreasonable as well. I think the cycle is inevitable. It's more about what's the best way to gradually find the best product market fit. So I'm definitely gonna stay here.
Wow, that is just really brave, right? Definitely going to stay here. Shout out to MJ. And how about your family? Will they support this type of decision? Because this is definitely not an easy decision, right? You see
Um,
there are clearly the challenges here, and you still decide to stay. And especially it's going to kind of like a long road, right? A long battle.
yeah, so short answer is yes, they are quite supportive. Longer answer, you mentioned that maybe we can talk about some of my personal experience, etc. I did have a very weird career experience. So I think for my family, it's kind of different perspective from them. For my parents, they were never able to really understand what I did, right? So for quite a long time, we can talk about that as my career experience, but for quite a long time, when I worked at Riot Games, building games, they don't know what the riot is, and it's impossible for me to explain like what riot is, what the game's riot is building, what I'm doing over there. So I told them it's part of Tencent. They got, oh, okay, that's a QQ instant messenger, right? I was like, yes. So after they saw that I transitioned my career a couple of times, they realized that they don't have to understand what exactly I'm doing on a daily basis. Just being supportive is what they can do. And my wife is quite supportive about what I'm doing. That she believes in that this is the best combination of how I can leverage my past experience, my expertise together. So far, I don't have any issue within my family. They are actually my biggest backer. So I'm totally good with it.
That is just so amazing, right? With family support. And well, are there any suggestions that you wanted to give to fellow builders? As we know right now, the sentiment, right? The market, oh my goodness, it's a huge challenge for so many people. And I feel like you are very optimistic, right? So what made you like be able to go through all of the challenges and ups and downs? And do you have anything that you wanted to say to encourage the fellow builders? Thank you.
Um, I think the at this moment, especially when the market is so cold, the only thing that I can give out as a message is, hang in there. You will navigate this. I think from in my personal opinion, right? So Web3 is gonna be growing, and would gonna be more robust in the future. And gaming is never dead, right? So gaming is always an iterative process that developers, builders are shipping great games, and when the bar is getting higher and higher, the builders, game designers need to figure out what's the best way to deliver the next stage of the games for the new generation. So it's always an iterative process. And right now, when it's basically the worst time of the market, hopefully, I think it's actually the best time to start thinking about what's the best way to build, right? So when everything is so hyped, fundraising is so easy, everyone is so bullish, etc. It's hard to find the best motivation about who would be the real builder that still believe in their ambition, that want to ship the best product, right? So I think right now is actually the best time to build.
Very interesting. Okay. So you think when like during market downturn is actually the best time to build because people could obviously see who are the real builders, right? But how about in the how do you attract more players to play your games? Because that's also another issue that we're facing right now, right? The market downturn, and some people they decide, oh, they're just going to leave crypto space for a while. So at least time, I feel like it's so difficult for me to find new users.
Um, I think different people are looking at the Web3 plus game in different ways. And everyone is trying to figure out what's the best product market fit over there. From my side, I think right now we're actually seeing more and more allies sharing the similar mindset with us that we always believe in product first, right? So game is game. And I think the fundamental is that game itself needs to be fun. If the game itself is not a game, it's just a gamified product, or it's just a game with a surface called, as a product with a surface called as a game, it's not a real game, then Web3 game itself as a buzzword will not change the stone to a diamond, right? So it's still going to be a shit. So coming back a little bit, I don't think that right now the challenge of Web3 gaming is the GameFi of Web3 gaming itself. The challenge is globally for the whole gaming industry, right? So the key issue behind is that right now, when the whole technology is being so advanced, the visual is so easy, provided by graphic card and also the new technology. Right now, the bar of the game quality has been leveled up to a new level that we haven't seen in the human history. While in the same time, I think right now, especially the core audience of the young generation, ranging from let's say 18 to 24, are the first generation in the human history that has been raised with the whole environment being surrounded by smartphone and also lots of the social media information, etc. But their attention span has been shortened to also extreme level, right? So right now the problem is that how a game could ship a game that can attract a new generation within a very short time period that they would like to endure based on their short attention span, while in the same time still hit the high quality bar. Right, that's the key issue of the game development and game publishing. With that said, right, so I'm not sure how many of the audience are looking at the trend of the recent game development, but there are a lot of layoffs in the gaming industry. Why? Because they can attract new generation, right? So they believe that they are building the AAA game, the best game in their mindset. However, the new generation, the new young players don't really appreciate that. While the top games in Steam are like Repo and a lot of indie games that the gamers feel this is the fun game, right? So this is totally different from how we are looking at games. Right now, the problem is not Web3 gaming. It's a problem of gaming globally. While Web3 is definitely not making that better, especially when the crypto market is in winter as well. So with that said, getting back to your question is that about how we acquire and retain users. I think we still have to focus on what's the best way that we can build good products for the new generation, for the young generation, and they feel fun enough coming in. In the end, I see Web3 as a solution for financialization, co-building, and revenue sharing or stake sharing, right? So with that said, earning or being able to ride the journey, to share the journey with us, would going to be a result to reward and compensate our ally of the ecosystem. But for those who are only coming here for the rewards, for the compensation, I would say good luck, but they might not be able to find the best fit for them to come into the ecosystem.
Well noted. Thank you so much. And I totally agree with you, right? The younger generation say, like my younger siblings, wow. Well, even though my family was quite poor, right? We didn't grow up with iPads or cell phones. I actually had had to buy my very first cell phone because I need to work, right, to communicate with my boss. So, well, that was later when I was kind of like in middle school, and it's really different life from others, but I believe a lot of my peers they do grow up with a lot of just devices and social media, right? So and shorter attention span. I remember when I first started to work in the social media industry, I could do longer videos, right, or longer stories. I could do like long YouTube videos, and people would watch it and people would listen to the whole story. But right now, TikTok is probably the only way. We had to cut the video to as short as possible, probably 10 seconds, right? So that's an issue. And another issue that we could see is the AI technology. The other day, I actually read a news. Right now, one of the most popular games that play by a lot of gamers, right, was actually built by AI, and it was a one-person team. So, if this kind of cases happen more and more often, how do you think this will impact our gaming industry? Not just Web3, right? But it's a whole Web2 and Web3 industry. In the past, certain games probably need a team of 300 people to do it, right? But right now, with one person and several AI tools, that people could build games by themselves. How do you see this kind of future that will happen? Especially, it might be pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword, right? So on one side, I see a lot of positive way that AI would be able to flip how the game is being built, how the game is being published and shipped. So especially when AI is able to enable the developer to fast iterate and deliver the content, and also empower the user to generate UGC, user-generated content, for them to better interact with each other. It's accelerating a lot of the pace that how traditional games being operated. So I think that will bring a lot of new experience that potentially can change a couple of things, right? So number one is developer will be more efficient for the live ops and the iteration. Number two is that exactly as you mentioned, I think in the past, a lot of good games, the production capability is being kind of dominated by the giant companies or those who raise a lot of fund. But right now, if you have an idea, you don't even have to learn how to do the coding, how to develop the games under whatever engine it is, etc. I think the AI will be able to work with you as a co-pilot to enable you to be able to ship not only an MVP version, but also potentially a vertical slice or a full game that people can enjoy. Um, on the other hand, right, so I also see a lot of the issue that potentially AI will be able to exaggerate as well, right? So getting back to what you mentioned about your resonate with the short attention span issue, I think the issue is about anxiety, right? So my wife is a teacher, so we talk a lot about how the young generation, how the middle school student works, etc. It's very funny that we saw more and more anxiety from the young generation. I'm not even talking about right now those people working in Web3, but the middle school student, collegiate students. The anxiety is because right now the information flow is so fast. And then some of the stories that I can share, right, is that it's so hard to spend time on even the game tutorial because it's taking too long and it's adding a lot of pressure. So people will churn. The other example is that I even talked to a middle school student recently that she felt really she felt a lot of anxiety if she's not looking at her phone every 1 to 2 minutes. Why? Because there are so many messages floating around in the instant messenger, in the group chat, and for the students when they are free, they're texting each other. So if you don't look at your phone for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, there are hundreds of messages flowing there already. If you don't look at that, you're left out, right? You don't know what's happening around. You don't know why people are laughing. Those anxiety will only be empowered and accelerated when the AI is being mass adoptive and also being used because the information flow would be even faster, right? So the anxiety issue will have a lot of negative impact for the user side regarding their habit of using apps or playing games or interact with other people. That's why the whole society interaction is going to be flipped as well.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. And that's actually also in the Web3 space. I feel like a lot of us are super anxious, right, about everything. We like the phrase FOMO, right? We're so afraid that we're missing out something. So that's why we need to sitting in front of our laptop or yeah, in front of a computer all day long, 24/7. We are so afraid that once we go to bed, there will be something big happen, some big news or some amazing meme token suddenly just pumping up and we miss it and that's our wonderful lifetime opportunity, right? A lot of people are so worried about that and we receive just too much information and so many things that coming to us that we don't know how to prioritize, right? What is the thing that we really should focus on? So totally agree with you. And if you were a parent, okay, if you were a parent, would you introduce crypto to your child at young age? I saw there are different ways to do it. Like some parents, right? Like some whale Bitcoin holders, they give their young children a few small amount of cryptos, right? And then teach them how to use wallet, and then just kind of guide them along the way before their kids even turn 8 year old. So would you do that or would you decide to do the other way? Like maybe blocking them for a while from cryptos or social media and then once they are more matured and then guide them through this journey.
I will definitely teach them, right? So we haven't talked about that, but that's also part of my own story. So I see the crypto, especially the Web3 market right now, is more of the new meta of how financial market works in the future, right? So it's kind of inevitable that there's no way Web3 or crypto will disappear. I think actually a lot of traditional financial institutions, traditional companies are embracing Web3 crypto as part of their business. So I started trading options, futures, stock when I was 14 years old. That was from my parents that they were like, hey, anyway, in the future, you will get used to it, you will embrace it. So you should try to start understand how that works. I think getting connected with crypto market, even trading meme is part of the way for my kid or the new generation to understand how market works. What is speculation? What is emotion? What is market sentiment? And also, there's a lot of stuff that you can't control. You can have your own idea, your judgment, but no one can literally impact the market. So you have to embrace the market. All those lessons will take years for people to really understand how that works, right? This is my personal experience as well. So for quite a long time, I think I was really, really emotional when I saw the market is being traded up or traded down, and I see my personal win or personal lose. And then gradually people will learn, right? So what's the discipline? How I follow the discipline to implement my trading strategy, etc., will gradually help every single person to be a better person in the market. That happened to me as well. So I think that's kind of a necessary step as part of my education.
Wow, your parents were amazing. Taught you, yeah, encouraged you to trade stock at very young age, which is super. And well, my parent encouraged me to find some jobs very young age. So yeah, and right now my younger siblings, like my younger brother, is going to college later this year. I'm kind of also want to push him to join crypto and also learn more and to fail at young age, right? To lose some money, to get hacked at young age when we're still poor, right? So in the future, when he finally has some ways to make some money, he would not lose a bunch of it. That would be some lessons, life lessons that definitely needs take some time to learn. Just like you say, right? It takes several years to be familiar with. So here comes our next question. Yesterday we had Calvin from Impossible Finance, and he say hi to you in yeah, in our event over here. Would you like to say something to him as well?
Hi, Kelvin. Kelvin helped us a lot. So we partner up with Impossible Finance about our node sales strategy as well as our node design. So they have been very helpful and strategic about helping the Web3 portfolios, Web3 partners. It's not only about node itself. I think he shared a lot of the insights and context. I think he might be one of the most knowledgeable and insightful person I've ever met since I joined Web3 industry. I personally learned a lot from him, so say hi to him as well. Um, we actually share a lot of the common area in the past. So we both majored in economics and try to think about the Web3 from the traditional finance and economic background as well. Yeah, so I think he's a very close friend, and I learned a lot from him, to be honest.
That is super. Thank you so much, NJ. I'm going to share this part to him as well. And the next question is, well, this is our standard question at our BabyManta SuperFrens Clubhouse because we are creating some MBTI personality cards to our speakers and our committee members. Would you like to reveal your MBTI to us? Thank you.
I'm not an expert of that, so I got pushed by my friend and team to do the survey once. So I was the ENTJ. I learned what ENTJ means. Sounds like a commander personality, etc. Which I don't think I'm that type of the tough guy, to be honest. But I think there's something I agree is that I'm quite addicted to sticking to the efficiency, shipping things, making things happen. Yeah, so this is who I am.
Nice. Ship it. Make things happen. So, well, MJ, are there any things that you wanted to say to yourself from 5 years ago? Are there anything that you wish you would know 5 years ago? That's our very last question. So maybe that would be also a lesson for our people, well, community members who just joined Web3 space.
Um, I think I always trying to persuade myself to be more open-minded, right? So if I were able to talk to the person 5 years ago, I would say be more open-minded, uh, think about crypto Web3 in a more open-minded way. For quite a long time, I'm very stubborn, believing that's a scam. Until 2022, 2021, that I joined Web3 area. But before that, I think there's a lot of the opportunity that so I wasn't able to grasp only because that I was too stubborn over there by only talking to maybe two or three people about their opinion which they were definitely not the one who believe in Web3. So I think getting different voices chiming in, being more open-minded is something that I hope the person 5 years ago would be able to embrace.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, MJ. Yes, well, be more open minded. And for my own self, right? 5 years ago, I wish I had enough money to buy Bitcoins because at the time, kind of like the bottom, right?
Yeah, maybe you
Yes.
would say the same thing 5 years later to the
Oh
Moonlight
my
today. Yeah, so
goodness,
maybe,
you are right because
hopefully.
right now it's kind of like another new button in the cycle, right? But I'm telling myself like I wanted to wait until it's like 60,000. Otherwise, it's so expensive right now. But maybe 5 years later, I was once again regret. Anyways, thank you so much, Andy, for spending time with us. Very precious time. And I know for a lot of people today is holiday, right? So wish you a great rest of the weekend. I'm going to share the recording to Calvin as well. And are there anyone else that you want to say hi? So it's kind of like a chain video. I'm going to show this video to the next
I
person
really
that you
like
want to
I
make.
really like this. I will not call the name, but I think along the way there's a lot of people who taught me a lot and show me how they enter Web3 and also guide me through the journey in the past couple of years. I think there are too many people that I can't say hi or greetings one by one.
Uh-huh.
Um, but along the way, we saw people coming in, we saw people left the area. We always feel that it's your own personal choices, right? But I think the whole life is kind of a non-stop and constant journey that, in my personal opinion, it's always about how we can learn from other people and then learn from the lessons and mistakes that we've been making and then being a better person, right? So especially in Web3, when the whole pace is so fast, I think being iterative, fast-paced, open-minded, being a fast learner is kind of inevitable and necessary for every single one.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, MJ. Okay, so next time if I interview someone that also knows you, then I'm going to show this part to the person as well. Thank you, MJ. And shout out to our Moonveil team who are watching and to our Moonveil community. Thank you all for joining us today. To our BabyManta community, let's wait for our next session. See, we have more amazing funders in our Web3 space to join the BabyManta SuperFrens Clubhouse. See you around, NJ. Thank you.
See you around, Moonlight. Thank you very much. See you around, guys.
Bye.
Bye.